Okay. Now we shall discuss three types of coordinate systems. One, the Cartesian coordinate system. Second, the polar coordinate system. Sometimes it is referred as spherical polar coordinate system. And third one, the cylindrical coordinate system. Now what is the use of the coordinate system? Basically, the coordinate system is used to identify or to express the position of a particle in space. Now to express the position, it is necessary to have some reference, and the standard reference used to represent position of the particle is known as coordinate system. We are aware about the Cartesian coordinate system. It consists of typically the Cartesian coordinate system consists of three mutually perpendicular axes like this. Now this axis is named as x axis, this is y axis, and this axis is z axis. These three mutual perpendicular axes intersect each other at a common point which is known as origin of the coordinate system. Now this is the origin of a coordinate system. Suppose if we will have to represent position of a point, suppose this point is P, then the point P is expressed as P x y z, where x is the x position of point P, y is the position along y axis, and z is the position along z axis. Now how we can find the position? For that we will have to draw a perpendicular on z axis from point P. Therefore if I draw a perpendicular like this, then this length is known as z. It is z coordinate of the point. To find x coordinate, actually we will have to draw the perpendicular on x axis from point P. But when we draw the figure in 2 dimension, it is a bit difficult to see, or it is difficult to imagine that how the perpendicular can be drawn from point P on x axis, and therefore we will have to draw a perpendicular from point P in xy plane first. Therefore this will be the perpendicular on xy plane from point P, and then from this I can draw a perpendicular on x axis. Therefore now this will be the position, or this can be treated as the x component of the point P, x coordinate of the point P, and then from this point I will have to draw a perpendicular on y axis, and therefore I can say that this is the y coordinate of point P. Therefore I can express P x y z, where x is the coordinate along x axis, y is the coordinate along y axis, and z is the coordinate along z axis. Remember that if we draw a line from point P perpendicular to x axis, then it will intersect x axis at this particular point. Okay, therefore this is known as Cartesian coordinate system. Now if the same point is to be expressed in another coordinate system, how we can represent it, we will have to discuss. But before that, if we think about if I will have to reach at point P from O, then what I will have to do? I will have to travel a distance of x along x axis. Therefore I can write it is x I cap plus I will have to travel a distance of y along y axis, that is j cap. I cap is the unit vector along x axis, j cap is the unit vector along y axis, and similarly I will have to travel a distance of z along z axis, where the unit vector along z axis is k cap, and therefore I can write it is x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. That means I will have to travel from origin a distance of x along x axis, then a distance of y along y axis, and then the distance of z along z axis to reach the point P. Okay. Now when I think about a similar element at point P, then what I will have to do? I will have to imagine that if I increase a increase the x coordinate by very small amount, and if I say that it is x plus delta x, which is along x axis, then I can increase y by a small amount delta y along z axis, that is y axis, and z by a small amount delta z along k axis, that is z axis. Then the situation will be something like this. This is delta x along x axis plus delta y along y axis plus delta z along z axis, and therefore there will be a cube, something like this. There will be a cube. Okay, this will be a cube. Now I can represent the cube separately. This length is delta x, therefore this is delta x, delta z, and similarly I can say that it is delta y. This will be a cube. Okay, this will be a cube of length delta x, delta y, and height to be delta z. This coordinate, particularly this point, this is our original point. This point is P. Okay, and this new point is point Q. Therefore, coordinates of P are x, y, z, whereas coordinates of point Q are x plus delta x, y plus delta y, and z plus delta z. Okay. This will be helpful to determine the line element, surface elements, and volume element in Cartesian coordinate system. What I will have to do, I will have to move from point P to point Q in general. Then how can I write the line element? The line element, say for example delta L or dl can be written as, it is a vector line element dl bar. It will be delta x along y axis plus delta y along z axis plus delta z along k axis. Now it may happen that if I travel directly from this point to this point only, and then delta y and delta z are 0, then the element will be delta x into I cap only. It may happen that if I travel from this point to this point, then there will be delta x I cap plus delta y j cap only. Instead of this, if I travel from origin along y axis only and along z axis only, then it will be delta y along z axis plus delta z along z axis. Therefore, this can be treated as a general element. Depending on whether delta x, delta y, or delta z are 0 or non-zero, we may have the different elements along different directions. Okay, but the general line element in Cartesian coordinate system is delta L bar is equal to delta x I cap plus delta y j cap plus delta z k cap. Now sometimes instead of representing it by delta L, we may represent it simply as dl also. Okay. If we observe this, then there are in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 different surfaces, and therefore I cannot write the single surface element in Cartesian coordinate system. But typically if I think about the surface element along x axis, then there are two possibilities. One, the surface in yz plane, and therefore I can write, suppose it is the surface delta y delta z. Remember that surface is two-dimensional quantity, therefore I will have to take a product of two length elements, and this can be treated as delta s1. Therefore delta s1 can be written as delta y delta z, which is along I cap. Remember that this is the surface, front surface, I can say that, which is along I axis, that is x axis, that is I cap, and hence I can write the first surface element delta s1, which will be delta y delta z, which will be along I axis. I will write this is front surface. If I consider the back surface like this is the back surface, then it is the surface area is the product of again delta y and delta z, but to represent it is a back surface, you will have to think about the direction of that surface to be minus I cap. Okay, and therefore I can say that this is the back surface, it is delta s2 bar, second surface element in Cartesian coordinate system. Similarly, if I will have to write the right surface to the right side, it will be the product of delta x into delta z, and therefore I can write delta x delta z, which will be along j cap. I will write this is delta s3. Similarly, I can write delta s4 to be equal to delta x delta z. The direction will be minus j cap, it is the left surface. Two more surfaces are there, One is the top surface, therefore I can write it is delta S phi bar, which is this top surface, and the area will be delta x delta y, and which will be along z axis, therefore I can write it is delta x delta y k cap, which is the top surface, and the last surface in Cartesian coordinate system delta S6 will be delta x delta y, and the direction will be minus k cap, which is the bottom surface. It is bottom surface. These are the 6 surface elements in Cartesian coordinate system. Now, depending on whether we are considering a closed surface or whether we are considering only one surface, two surfaces, etc., we can think about the combination of these different surface elements to generate a particular surface. Now, when we think about the surface integral, we will discuss how to integrate over the surface element to have a finite surface area. The last point is the volume element in Cartesian coordinate system. And it is very simple. It is actually a scalar term. It is delta V, which is the product of delta x, delta y and delta z, because it is a length into breadth into height will be the volume of this small element. Now remember that if we will have to construct any finite volume in Cartesian coordinate system, we will have to assume so many surface volume elements, and the finite volume is made up of the volume elements. Therefore, we can integrate over this dV or delta V depending on the range along x axis, range along y axis and range along z axis. We may have different volumes. Say for example, if I will have to consider a rectangle of length L, breadth B and height h, say for example, then that volume can be determined as it is the integration over volume, but I will have to represent integration in three forms. Integration it will be dx, dy and dz. Now see, we can change the representation. Being the integration, we will have to say that it is dx. This can be covered in the meaning of derivative and integration. Okay. Now what about x? X has to change from 0 to L because length of that box is L. Y is to be changed from 0 to B because breadth of this box is B, and Z is to be changed from 0 to H because the height is H. And hence if we solve this, then the volume can be written as LBH, and this is the well-known formula for the volume of a rectangle. Now this is about the Cartesian coordinate system. Next time we will discuss the spherical polar coordinate system and the cylindrical coordinate system. Thank you.